So I wanted to share my story about AI art, why it interests me, um, why I'm doing it, what's so inspiring about it. I've had a lot of questions about it since I started it just a couple of days ago and been posting. Um, so yeah, if you're catching the replay, drop a hashtag replay. Feel free to drop any questions in the comments. And certainly you can always reach out to me in Messenger or email. So let's see where to start. I guess I'll start at the beginning. And then we'll just see where it goes. In 2009, some of you, I don't know this, maybe you do, it's in my bio story on my website. In 2009, I became really sick and I had to stop working, and I moved back in with my family and was on disability. I was bedridden for several years, on and off, and just really lost myself and my life. And I couldn't work, I couldn't create. It was a really hard time. And somewhere in that first year, I read an article about a virtual game called Second Life. I think it's still around. I don't know much about the gaming world now, but I had read that there was a man who had been in an accident and become a paraplegic, and he found Second Life and created an avatar that could walk. So inside that game, we create our own avatars. You can make them look how you want and move how you want and dress how you want and give them their own names. My avatar was named Petal. It was really fun. But anyway, so I read this article about this man who was a paraplegic. He created an avatar that could walk, and he was in the game, playing the game. I mean, literally physically just sitting here in his wheelchair with his computer, moving the mouse. But his avatar was like on the screen in the game, and it felt like he could walk again. And it was such a moving experience for him in this article that I read. And sorry, got distracted. And so at first I was a little bit like, what? That's insane. That sounds silly. But I was so bored and sick, and I needed an escape, and I needed distraction, and I needed something. So I signed up and I created an avatar, and it was amazing. I don't know how to explain it. It's a weird trick of the mind and how our brain works. I had life again. And physically, my body was laying in bed and I couldn't do much, but looking at my computer and creating my avatar, how she looked, I could build her home. I bought some land inside the game, and I put in gardens and a forest and a lake and all kinds of things. And I made friends. It felt so real. It was amazing, and it gave me life, and it gave me inspiration while I was healing and couldn't do anything else. I even learned how to make clothes for avatars, and I started a business in Second Life while I was sick, while I couldn't do photography or run my own real life business. And I opened up shop and I sold clothes, and I made enough money to keep playing the game. And I had a lot of clients. It was amazing. So fast forward to AI and this week, it's a very similar experience for me. And I've been reading in some of the different AI groups on Facebook and the other places that I follow, how therapeutic it is for people, and how art therapy is a big part of the creation of Midjourney AI. Midjourney is the AI that I'm working with. I'll say right now, I don't know much about all the technical terms, so don't quote me. I'm doing the best I can. I'm still learning. But there are different AIs that people create, and Midjourney is the big one on fire right now that everyone is joining and exploring. There's one other that I applied to get into, but it's a wait list that's supposed to be as good and even more realistic. But yeah, people are using it to explore grief, to heal, to it's amazing. I mean, the things I'm reading are amazing. I also am reading people who are putting it down and doubtful and not happy about it. And I'm kind of pushing those to the side. Like, that doesn't interest me right now. I'm excited about the possibilities. How do I say? So for me, right now, I've been in a little bit of a rut creatively. And I saw someone post some images last week, and they were so amazing. And I immediately asked about them and how they created them. And they told me Midjourney AI. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I just started researching and started learning, and signed up. And at first I was a little hesitant. I did feel a bit skeptical, like some people, how is this real art? And, I'm not doing anything but entering in words. How AI works right now is you type in word prompts. Like one of the first ones I did was the essence of connection. And then the AI generates 4 variables, or 4 different image possibilities. And then I can take one and tell it to generate more variables to keep showing me things until I find what I want. I can also control, well, I'm learning this with certain words at the end of my prompt, or certain numbers, I don't know what they're called, certain codes. I can direct the direction I want it to go in a little bit. I'm still learning that. So that's basically how AI works. So at first I was like, how is this my art? What's happening? Like, a lot of my art friends are saying, like, that makes no sense to me. But the more I got into it, I don't know how to explain it. For me, I mean, everyone's different and I can only speak for myself. But for me, it felt a little bit like that time in Second Life. This connection, this ability to create things I couldn't previously create with the tools I had. The ability to express things visually that I haven't found a way how to do yet. And yeah, I mean, I was hooked like right away, and the possibilities are endless. Like, so for my photo impressionism, stuff like this, and on my website, I start my composition in the camera with a blur filter, and that's my base layer. And then I add layers of that I buy. I buy layers of paint strokes, of grunge texture, of colored stone. Like, I add layers that someone else created, and I blend them all together to create my artworks. I mean, here's one right here, a test print. Like this is a little white daisy flower that I shot while it was blowing in the breeze with my blur filter. And then I just added, I mean, you can see maybe, like, this is one of the paint lines from one of the filters with paint. So to me, it's a very similar process, except the AI is creating my base layer, my composition. Although I'm directing it as much as it will allow me to direct it. And and I can take the AI images into Photoshop. A lot of people I've been following are doing that. In fact, as a digital artist, when you want to create a collage or a composition in Photoshop, you have to go looking for the pieces you want. If you want to put a house in there and a human and a tree, you know, either you have to go photograph those things or you have to go buy them as stock images. Well, I'm seeing my friends create them in AI and then take them out of that file and put it in their Photoshop files and create their collages and compositions. So it's highly creative, and it's taking, I feel, from what I'm seeing, the artist's journey and experience even on a more personal level for people who are using it in that way. I mean, if I wanted to put, you know, something in this image, like, I don't know, some clouds, I don't have to go photograph them and I don't have to go buy stock images. I can create clouds in the AI exactly how I want, and then I can overlay them in Photoshop. So that's one pretty amazing way to use it. Forget all the ideas I've had. I have so many ideas. I've just been writing them down. I've been wanting to create murals for a long time, but I've not really found the right tool. And I think this is really going to help me really open up and find my voice in these worlds that I want to create in these murals, these places that I want to be, and that I want to share with people. So, so yeah, that's really kind of my story and where I'm at. It's very exciting. I am going to open up a little shop on my website today where you can buy the digital files if you want and make prints for yourself, or share, you know, use them in social media. The Midjourney AI is open source. So although I think we own our artwork in collaboration with Midjourney, it's available. Like, people, I mean, the high-res file is not available, but we can use other people's files to create more of our own work or to get ideas. So right now I'm just keeping things at a low price point, making it available for everybody, and exploring this new tool that really, really excites me. I think for me, it's also been a really connected experience. I've started offering this service to people who want to give me prompts, give me their affirmations, give me their poetry, give me their words of wisdom, and put it in and create the art for them. And to me, that's been such an amazing collaboration and an inspiration. Some people are asking me to do things that I have no idea how to do, so I have to go learn how to do it. So that's been really great. And you know, it kind of reminds me of a few years ago when I found and created remote portraits. In fact, the same photographer that I follow, I learned about remote portraits from her. She's the same one I follow now that I first saw AI from. So she's definitely quite an innovator. And I had this one experience when I was shooting a remote portrait of a client, and these I created when we were all in quarantine. I photographed people through video calls on their cell phone. You can still see them on my website. They're really, really beautiful. What was I gonna say? Oh, so this one woman, we set up the remote photo shoot. She was in her living room in California, and I was in my living room in Florida at the time. And we were doing the photo shoot. So, and during the remote portraits, the client is only seeing the back of the phone. I'm shooting through the back of the camera. So I, you know, show people how to set it up on a tripod or somewhere and where to position it so that I'm I'm seeing the shot I want to see. And we were having fun and laughing, and she was relaxing, and I was taking pictures, and she had to take a bathroom break. So she went in the other room. And when she came back into her living room, she got startled that she didn't physically see me there. And it was such a strange experience that our brain and our heart and our sensory system does, because we had been having a very intimate experience with the picture taking. Her system thought I was there in the room. She was expecting to see me there. And I find that fascinating. I find technology fascinating, that it can connect us in these ways that we aren't even aware of until it happens. These people who are using Midjourney AI to move through grief, or move through illness, or get through illness, or express things that they didn't know the how. They're putting their words, and then they get these images, and it's so connecting and so healing and so expressive. There's just so much possibility that I just love it. I'm trying to think what else I've seen. I have one friend who uses it. She is a digital collage artist, and she uses it to help generate some ideas, like start formulating the ideas, and then goes and creates the artwork. Like, I guess it's like her drafting board. She's been having fun with that. I know there's a lot of cool things I've seen, and I can't remember them all right now. For me, I'm excited. I actually want to, so you know how I talked about with my photo impressionism, using layer upon layer filters, grunge filters and paint filters. I want to explore creating my own high resolution filters, because there's some paint techniques I haven't been able to find in layers to work into my impressionism. So I've been putting in a lot of prompts for different paint techniques and brush strokes, and I haven't found it just yet. But that piece is really exciting. And the cool thing about this that I didn't quite realize till I was in it, and I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it. AI, it's artificial intelligence. It is learning. It is a neural network. Again, don't quote me on technology. I have no idea what the right words are, but from what I'm reading, it is a tool that is constantly learning while I'm learning. Like, Photoshop doesn't learn anything. It is Photoshop. It does the same thing, repeatable every time that I want it to do. Same with my editing apps I use on the iPhone. But this is a thing that is constantly growing and changing. Like, it's still learning how to make faces, which is so funny. I mean, it's amazing what comes out, but I'm seeing the people I'm following, the faces are getting better and better just over the last few days. It's fascinating. So it's interesting. I want to learn more about how it learns. If I keep talking to it about paint strokes and paint texture and paint techniques and paint styles, how does it learn? Yeah, if anyone knows this, how does it learn that I want to see more of that and I want it to get better at it? Does it learn by me picking the variants I like? And then, yeah, I don't know. It's so cool. I mean, it's learning, which then also inspired me to be reminded that I can learn. Like, AI is a machine that a human created to learn like humans, to work like our brains, I think. And so, like, last night I was having trouble sleeping. I have trouble sleeping, and I was like, okay, brain, we can learn how to sleep well again. Like, I used to sleep really well before I was sick. Like, I have neural networks. If that machine can learn how to create a face and all the lines that are needed to create the nose and the mouth and all the things, like, I can create new neural networks to learn how to sleep better, or learn how to speak a language, or learn how to use AI. I mean, it feels like a cyclical, inspiring collaboration. So that's how I feel about it. I hope whoever feels inspired to try it out, that you go do that. Give yourself the freedom, the space, the allowance to explore things that you're drawn to. That's really, really important. As far as getting started with Midjourney, I think it's through Discord. So you have to have a Discord account, which can seem overwhelming. A friend of mine helped me set it up. And I don't even remember how I did it, but I just stayed focused and learned. Like, here's Discord. I'm going to read how to get on Discord. Here's Midjourney. I'm going to read, oh, I need to click on this link. So it's out there. You just got to go Google and get set up. And they have a free trial, which is kind of hard to deal with because you're basically creating the art inside like this big group chat thread. And there's so many things flying at you because so many people are doing it at once. So it's very hard to navigate. And I was very frustrated. But then I learned that if I pay for the paid plan, I get to create the art in my own private DM space. So it's just me and the bot, the AI, the Midjourney bot that's feeding information back to me. There's a basic plan for $10 a month, and it has a limit that I reached in 2 days. And so I was like, okay. So I just decided to upgrade to the $30 a month, which is unlimited, but I believe there are some limits in it that I'm still learning about. But it's given me a bit more freedom. So, and how it goes. All right, I will see y'all later. Thank you.